Hi, my name is Chris Lucassen, and today we're going to look at the M2Active Integrated Development Environment, or short, IDE. Alright, let's get started. We're going to fire up the IDE. It's down here. Start it up. I'm running this on a Mac, but you could also use a Microsoft Windows machine or a Linux machine. Our IDE is based on Eclipse, which is one of the most popular environments out there. So if you're doing Java development, JavaScript development, chances are that you are already using the Eclipse environment. It ties in very neatly with your management systems like Subversion, Git, stuff like that. But there's a lot of benefits cooked directly into the environment. And what we've done is we've added our runtime environments to this IDE. So it's easy for you to build apps, M2Active, cross-platform, straight from one single environment. So let's go and take a look at how we do this. We do this by, let's create a new project. We'll hit File, we'll hit New Project, and we'll build an M2Active client project. We're going to call it a great app. I'm going to pick a M2Active release. I'm going to pick the latest one. If you are bound to an older release for some reason, for example, certification of your app, you can stick to that. But in principle, it's good practice to take the last one. We can give a package identifier. We'll leave it at this. And we're going to pick a target. In this laptop, I've only installed the Google Android environment, so we'll start with that. And I can pick a project template. So I can start with an empty, very simple, basic project, but I can also pick a quick start application, which will give me an app with a tab bar controller and two different tabs, which are sort of a very good starting point for most apps. I also have a sample application there, which is the Classmates application, which gives you a full running example of a very nice app with backend integration, HTTP REST, and there's a lot of code examples in there which can help you getting to know M2Active as a language and as an environment. But let's keep this demo simple. I'll start with an empty M2Active project. I'll hit Finish. Now it's building the files in the background. And you see it's created two projects. We have created a shared project. The shared project holds all the M2Active configuration. M2Active is a cross-platform environment, so it makes sense that you only use your images and your scripting, and you do that only once, and you then deploy it to the number of operating systems. Now we've also installed the Android stuff, so we get an Android folder. The good thing is you don't need to look inside it. Everything is being done for you by the platform. Okay, so we're going to fire up the Android app. Let's go do that. So we go to the Android part, run as M2Active application. You can see in the background that it's going to fire up the library. It's going to start the Android simulator. It's going to actually boot up the Android OS. So this will take some time the first time you do it. If you have the simulator is running, it goes quite smoothly, but the first time it takes some time to load the entire OS. So we'll give it some time, and in the meanwhile we'll go and look at some of the code. And you can see that there actually are only two script files. And there's the bootstrap, and the bootstrap starts up the app and loads all the stuff. But the most important part in this app is the hello screen. Now let's go and take a look at the most simple and basic M2Active app that you probably see. You notice when I hover over the statement, it's going to pop up the help. This is a very cool feature. If you're new to the environment, the system actually helps you in learning and getting to know options that are there. Very powerful feature. So let's have a peek on the result. And as you see, we see the label here. It has a size, it has a color, it's been set very nicely in the center. And you see it was actually just a couple of clicks to get your first app running. Now, I've already shown you, and you probably noticed the syntax highlighting. So classes, M2Active classes are actually highlighted in orange, and the Lua standard classes and methods are highlighted in a Bordeaux style of red. Constants we have in blue, and we have some integer and numbers in black. Now this is nice. So we have color visual feedback if we're typing the right thing. So if I were to add something to the label and make a typing error, let's say hello label, notice that there's a warning being presented, which is a style guide saying, hey, watch out, you're missing a semicolon at the end, which is good. And I would write a line. And you see, the moment I start writing a line, it actually is going to help me and suggest code. So it would be pretty difficult for me to make a mistake. Actually, we can remove this part because it's written very well above. And as you see, the system always tries to help you in writing good code. So this is very good for people who are new to the platform, and the code suggestion and the entire help stuff is really making it easy for you to write good apps. Now, a second thing I would like to highlight on the IDE is the debugger. So what we'll do is we'll set a breakpoint, and we'll do this right here. We'll toggle the breakpoint. So before we add the label to the subview, we've added a breakpoint, and we should be able to hold the application there. Another interesting aspect here is the outline, where you can find methods of your particular class. So you can jump very quickly between methods, were you to have more than a single method actually. Alright, so let's go and run this in the debugger. Let's go to right click again, debug as M2Active application. Notice we've changed some stuff. Well, let's change that, save it. It's going to build stuff in the background, upload a new Android APK to the device emulator, and it's going to be running that very shortly. So we're waiting for the debugger. Show this briefly coming by, and actually it stopped now. So what happened? Well, in the background it's trying to attach the debugger to the process, and we're there. Let's go with the Dropbox. Let me magnify this slightly for your convenience. We're looking at a fully functional debugger running on the simulator, but also running on an attached device. And it shows you the debug session, but the more interesting part is down here below, where you can see a line-by-line execution of your code, and we're actually down to this line, and the little arrow indicates that this is where the debugger has stopped. Now, another cool thing is that we can actually inspect elements like the label. So we have the label here. So a lot of properties in there, and we can inspect these properties, which is very, very cool. Let's scroll down a little bit because I know the text is somewhere down here. Yes, indeed, the text has been set to the correct value, and alignment has been set to center. So this is pretty powerful. You have all the normal debugging controls that you would expect. So you can step over, you can step into, you can continue. Well, let's continue. And you see that the M2Active virtual machine is running. So there it is. The hello world has been added to the screen. So those are the main features. I've shown you the syntax highlighting, code completion, the way layout management is done on a brief level, outlines of your classes, debugging, setting breakpoints, running stuff on your simulator, and starting up your first app. So that was the IDE, and in the next video we're going to look into some more complex apps that can be built using the IDE and the M2Active App Lifecycle platform.